Welcome to Voodoo Whiskey Gaming, and this is my late review of Outlast 2. I played it on the PS4, it's also available on the Xbox One and PC. So as far as the story goes, you play as a guy whose name I can't remember because I don't give a shit about him. But you are a cameraman, your wife is a journalist, and you are investigating a weird murder. Well, it's technically considered a death, but it's so bizarre that everybody just thinks it's a murder. Like, it seems like it's a murder. So you're flying over the area where this happened or should have happened, and your helicopter goes down, and you discover that now your wife is missing, and like literally you find the crashed helicopter and the pilot skinned alive. The further you get, you discover that there's like this weird cult shit going on, and there's like two factions to the cult, and they're kind of at war with each other. You also quickly discover that these cultists are incredibly violent. Now, normally I would jump into like the gameplay elements a little bit later, but I need to address them now because the story and gameplay elements kind of meld in these games, in Outlast 1 and this one, in that they say that your character is not a fighter, so your options are run, hide, or die. So obviously that is a gameplay element, it's run, hide, or die. You can't fight back at all. And in Outlast 2, definitely more so than the first Outlast, there's a lot of stealth to it. You try to sneak around and avoid the cultists. And to put it simply, I have issues with that. I didn't really like it in the first one, but I hate it in this to the point where it kind of ruined the game for me. Because I just can't relate to the main character, because honestly, in that situation, your wife is missing, these people will just straight up kill you. Within 2 hours of the game, you have found at least 80 corpses, and it's just like, you're not going to do anything to physically defend yourself. You're not willing to commit an act of violence to try and, continue your life. I have issues with that. Like, I'm not a super violent person. I honestly avoid violence in my life. But the times when violence has been necessary, I have been violent. And I feel like in this game, violence has become very necessary when you've come across all these corpses, you've seen violent murders, and you're just sitting there going, oh no, I'm not going to fight back in any way, shape, or form. So that just, for me, really negatively affects the gameplay. So I mentioned in the gameplay that there's stealth, and it does not work great in this game, in my opinion. Most stealth games give you, like, tools that really benefit you for sneaking around. This game does not. They give you the camera, which has such a limited battery that it's kind of a useless tool. I feel like the camera is really useless in the game. I feel like the battery just burns out too quickly because there's too much pitch black around. There's not enough areas where you should be able to see. And let's face it, most nights are not completely pitch black. You should be able to see a little bit on your own. Okay, since this is all out of order, let's jump back to the audio, which is excellent in this game. I think the voiceover work is fantastic, and I think it adds to the story, which I did find very interesting. And the audio in this game is magnificent. I mean, the background sound effects, the music, like I said, the voiceover work is great. I think it all comes together to help create a much more horrifying environment. As for the gameplay, it works pretty well. I didn't find that the controls for sprinting responded as quickly as I would have liked them to, because, well, let's face it, sprinting is one of the only ways you can stay alive at times because the people are gonna murder you. They're gonna straight up murder you. But overall, the looking around and movement basically works very well. I didn't have any major complaints with that. Lastly, there's the graphics. This is a good-looking game. It's a very good-looking game. I think they did a great job building a creepy environment. Not just creepy, but an actually scary environment. One that, like, just kind of eats away at you. So I think that's impressive. I think the character designs are very good. I think they did a great job visually with this game. But, like I said earlier, it's too dark at, like, almost all points in time. So you're using the night vision way too much, and it obviously eats away at the battery, so that affects the gameplay. But it's unfortunate because this is such a well-crafted visually world. Like, visually, it's well-crafted. I know I worded it weird. Honestly, I wanted to enjoy this game because I really found the Outlast 1 story very interesting, and I've got to say the Outlast 2 story is also very interesting, but I just hate actually playing the game. The whole not being able to fight back thing is not something I can relate to in any way in this game because most of these cultists are just normal people. Your character just refuses to fight back. I mean, admittedly, there are some supernatural things going on, but the majority of the cultists are just normal people who can kill you, but you would also be able to kill them if you're willing to. So that bothers me. It honestly ruined the game for me. I was just sitting there, I was like, yeah, this is interesting, but God, I fucking hate every moment of actually playing the game and finding the clues. So at the end of the day, I would never recommend this to anyone that I know, just because I can't stand playing it. And I understand that the whole not being able to fight back is just supposed to add an extra layer of fear. I do get that. But I've played other games that have done a good job scaring me, but have also allowed me to fight back. Like, I normally don't like to list other games in a review, but Condemned Criminal Origins and Resident Evil 7 were both scary, but they allowed me to fight back. If you want to move outside of the first-person horror realm, the original Silent Hill games, Dead Space, The Suffering, these are all games that were scary and allowed you to fight back. Okay, so in the comments below, why don't you let me know if you actually beat the last Outlast game, because I know a lot of people did not. And as always, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button, and if you like what I'm doing in general, share, subscribe. Have a good one.